Hello and welcome to Speak English Fluently. Today, I'm going to continue sharing the story of Doaa, a young woman who faced unimaginable challenges on her journey to find safety. This part of her story is intense, emotional, and full of important lessons. Along the way, I'll explain some new words that will help you better understand the story. Let's dive in. Imagine being out at sea for days, with no land in sight and nothing but water all around you. That's where Doaa and hundreds of other refugees found themselves, on a crowded boat, hoping to reach safety. Day 2 on the water was brutal. The sea was rough, and everyone was sick, not only with fear but physically sick to their stomachs. Rough sea means the water was choppy and difficult, making the boat rock violently. By day 3, Doaa had a premonition. Premonition is a strong feeling that something bad is going to happen. She told Bassem, her fiancé, "I'm scared. I don't think we're going to make it. I think the boat is going to sink." But Bassem, always hopeful, told her, "Please be patient. We'll get to Sweden, we'll get married, and we'll have a future together." But day 4 came, and things took a dark turn. The passengers were agitated. They were anxious and restless, wondering when they'd reach land. Agitated means feeling nervous or upset. They demanded answers from the captain, asking, "When will we get there?" But the captain yelled at them, told them to be quiet, and insulted them. He said they'd reach Italy in 16 hours, but nobody believed him anymore. They were too tired, too weak. Then, suddenly, they saw another boat approaching. It was smaller, with about 10 men on board, shouting insults and throwing sticks at them. These men demanded that everyone on Doaa's boat get off and board their smaller boat. But the parents were terrified for their children. Terrified means extremely scared. They refused to move, knowing the smaller boat wasn't safe. And so, the men sped away in anger. Half an hour later, those same men came back, but this time, they were filled with hate. They began ramming the side of Doaa's boat, trying to break it. Ramming means to forcefully hit or crash into something. They yelled cruel things like, "Let the fish eat your flesh," and they laughed as the boat started to sink. Doaa and Bassem were sitting right where the hole was being made. Within moments, the boat capsized and began sinking. Capsized means the boat flipped over in the water. The 300 people who were trapped below deck didn't stand a chance. They were doomed. Doomed means something bad is certain to happen. Doaa clung to the side of the sinking boat, watching in horror as a small child was cut by the boat's propeller. Propeller is the spinning part of the boat that moves it through the water. Bassem, who was a strong swimmer, told her, "Let go, or you'll be pulled in by the propeller too." Doaa was terrified, but she let go. Remember, Doaa couldn't swim, but in her mind, she thought, maybe this is swimming. She started moving her arms and legs, trying to stay afloat. Miraculously, Bassem found a life ring, one of those small, inflatable rings children play with in swimming pools. He helped Doaa climb onto it, but it wasn't big enough. Her arms and legs dangled in the water, but at least she had something to hold on to. Bassem held her hand and tread water next to her. Tread water means to stay floating by moving your arms and legs without actually swimming. All around them, there were corpses. Corpses means dead bodies. At first, around 100 people survived, and they formed small groups, praying for rescue. But as the hours passed and no help arrived, some people lost hope. Doaa and Bassem watched as men in the distance, exhausted and heartbroken, took off their life vests and let themselves sink into the water. Let's go over the important words we learned from today's story. 1. Rough sea, when the water is choppy and difficult to travel on. 2. Premonition, a strong feeling that something bad is going to happen. 3. Agitated, feeling nervous or upset. 4. Terrified, extremely scared. 5. Ramming, forcefully hitting or crashing into something. 6. Capsized, when a boat flips over in the water. 7. Doomed, certain that something bad will happen. 8. Propeller, the spinning part of a boat that moves it through water. 9. Life ring, an inflatable ring used for keeping people afloat in the water. 10. Tread water, moving arms and legs to stay afloat without swimming. 11. Corpses, dead bodies. These words are important when talking about dangerous situations, like the one Doaa and Bassem faced. Understanding these words will help you better understand stories like theirs. Thank you for joining me today on Speak English Fluently. This was a difficult part of Doaa's journey, but her story isn't over yet. Tune in next time to hear what happens next, and as always, keep practicing your English. Remember, every new word you learn brings you one step closer to fluency. Until next time, take care